Hey there, beautiful brown girl family. So super excited to be back with another. Let me start over, y'all. With another episode of Brown Girl Boss. I'm gonna go ahead on y'all and give a disclaimer and let you know I just got braces last week. And child, I'm still trying to figure out how to talk. Okay, so if my lips ain't cooperating and the whatnot, y'all forgive me. Okay, but I am so excited to be here tonight. So definitely see y'all coming on. As you are coming on, please go ahead and introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know where you are watching from. Also, let me know if this is your very first time hanging out with me on Brown Girl Boss or hanging out with us on BBG TV. I love to celebrate our first timers and welcome you into the beautiful Brown Girls family. Yeah, like I need y'all to go ahead and tag some of your friends in this broadcast. I am so excited about our guests that we have tonight. And I want to make sure that everybody that needs to hear what we are going to be talking about is here and ready to participate. So if you will, pause right now, go ahead and share the broadcast on your page, tag some of your friends, especially if they have a business, if they have some type of brand, if they find themselves in the social media vortex of trying to get all of the things together, like myself, go ahead and tag them in the comments and tell them that they need to be here so that we can talk with our guest today about all of those things. So, hey, Crystal, I see you checking in from Baltimore, Maryland. Welcome. I see Ashley is here as well. Welcome. Alice is reporting from Cleveland, Ohio. Welcome to the party. Okay. So yeah, go ahead again. Introduce yourself in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Go ahead and share the broadcast on your page. Tag some of your friends so that they can come in and hang out with us. Javon, hey there. I see you reporting from Las Vegas, Nevada. We have Copper is here from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Hey, Phoenix is here from ATL. Ashley is here from South Cali. We have Janelle here from Miami, Florida. Okay. So listen, y'all, I'm excited. And I always say that, but like for real, I'm really excited. So I want to tell y'all what we're watching, and then I want to tell y'all about our guest. Because when I tell you sis changed my life in real life, like in real life. Okay. So yeah, so sometimes I kind of fangirl out about her because she is just that amazing. But first, some of y'all might be here for the first time and you're like, girl, what are we watching? Like, tell us about the things. So good evening. Welcome to BBG TV Brown Girl Boss. This is our virtual platform that allows us to connect with other like-minded women who are on a mission to live their very best lives. We come to you weekly with programming that will challenge and inspire you and get the conversation going to connect with other beautiful brown girls. My name is Kimberland and I am your host. I am actually coming to you all. My feet are currently planted in Mexico City, Mexico. I'm a little sad because I actually leave here next week. But I had to make sure I did this before I leave y'all because this is so super important to me. So once again, if you have not done so already, make sure that you introduce yourself in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Go ahead and tag some of your friends and share the broadcast on your page so that your community as well can see what you're doing and they can benefit from some of this amazing information that we have tonight. So I want to do a few more shout outs. I see Ebony is here from Pittsburgh. Looks like Rosemary is also here from Pittsburgh. So Pennsylvania's in the house. I did a stint in Pittsburgh, y'all. I was in Harrisburg though. So, you know, Ronnie is here from Louisiana. Yes. I'm actually from New Orleans. So excited to see you. Janelle from Miami. Let me see. And Ebony is here. Awesome. Okay. So let me tell y'all about my guest. So first of all, I want to tell you all how I met Knakeesha. Okay. So our guest today is Knakeesha Samuels, and she is just this glowing ball of light that you all will see in just a moment as soon as I bring her up. But I met Knakeesha at one of the lowest points of my life when I was really trying to figure out what was happening. I was doing my stint in Pennsylvania and was just completely disillusioned with everything that was happening, the level of racism, just all kinds of stuff. It was just a lot that was going on. And my therapist recommended that I take some time off of work. And I decided that I wanted to take a trip. I was like, I'm going to take a solo trip and just try to like get my mind together. Right. So I take a trip to Medellin, Colombia. I had never been to Medellin, didn't know nothing about Medellin outside of Pablo Escobar. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take this trip, right? So I take the trip. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, everything. But I really wanted to learn about the history of the city and just really get to know it. So I take a graffiti tour. All right. So I look on Airbnb and I'm like, this looks interesting. Some graffiti. I like art. Cool. Right. So I get on the tour and the tour guide messages me and says, hey, we're waiting on a couple people. We'll be right there. Tour guide rolls up and he's got these two beautiful brown girls with him. And I'm like, yes, brown girl magic. Well, one of those ladies was Knakeesha. And we just started talking on the trip. She had a line sister of hers that was there in town visiting her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're all Deltas. Then it was really like, this is amazing, right? But anyway, I started like asking Knakeesha, like, how, like, why are you here? Like, what's going on? She's like, oh, girl, I live here. And I'm like, sis, what? So it just launches into this relationship where I really got a chance to connect and decided right there when I met her that I was going to do the same. I was going to pick up my life. I was going to move to a different country because I really wanted to see what it was like. And Knakeesha's response when I asked her, she was just like, why not? Like, why not? Like, why are you in the States? Like, girl, come on over here and see what's up. So that is how I met Knakeesha. But I need to tell y'all about her qualifications because we don't bring nobody on this show unless we got the receipts. Okay. So Knakeesha Samuel, she's the owner and creative director of Charisma Event Agency and Silent K Branding, and she operates out of Orlando, Florida. For the past 7 years, she served her clients through extensive knowledge of brand development, event planning, and graphic design with a focus on social media and content creation. She takes pride in bringing corporate level practices to small and medium-sized businesses and nonprofit organizations in Central Florida in various cities, including New York, Atlanta, New Orleans, Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami, and Daytona Beach. Knakeesha has also had the pleasure of working with the NFL alumni and has been a part of sponsorship and brand alignment deals with the Orlando Magic, the City of Orlando, Tito's Vodka, iHeartRadio, Chase Banks, Bacardi, Tesla, Walmart, Microsoft. Y'all, sis is coming with the receipts, okay? So I want y'all to welcome my sorority sister, okay, Miss Knakeesha Samuels to the show. Hey, beautiful.
Hey, oh my gosh, Kim, you was like over here having me tearing up. I was about to cry. That was quite the introduction. Oh my goodness.
Whew. This is coming from a real place, girl. I am so excited and just so grateful that you accepted the call to come on to the show. I have been bursting at the seams to introduce you to the community because I know, like, you be bringing the thunder. Okay, so I need the peoples to understand. Okay.
Yes, and I'm so excited for today. Like, I feel like I'm kind of getting back into my speaking engagement bag and like getting out there talking to people again. So, who better to speak to than my beautiful brown girls? I'm here for it.
Yes, I love it. And what a great way to have you get back in the swing of things. So, if you will, kind of start us off. I gave the people so much information about you, but kind of start us off in how you got into this industry. I know you do both event planning and you also do the social media and the branding. So tell us your origin story. Like, how does this even come about?
Okay, so funny fact about myself, like I actually went to culinary school. And so I went to culinary school. I went to Johnson Wales in Miami, and I loved to cook. I loved all things hospitality. But I made like a little bit of a shift when I was in school, I think like my sophomore year, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to be in a commercial kitchen. So I got a minor in sales and event management, and I started moving into the event world, and I absolutely loved it. Like I found my people, I found my niche, I found what I really love to do and like what I was passionate about. And I kind of just snowballed through like different corporate positions. Like I worked with Ritz Carlton, Marriott, Lowe's, and I ended up starting my own business, mostly because corporate America was just not for me. It was not my jam. So I decided to start my own business, and I did corporate event planning for about 7 years. Under my business, Charisma Event Agency. And during the pandemic is what actually allowed me to shift into doing brand management and social media management. I Well, for one, all the events were canceled, so
Right.
there wasn't any events for me to do. But I was actually very fortunate that I was already handling social media and branding for clients just based off the fact that we were doing quarterly or monthly events that so it started off as just event management, became so much more within the organization that when events, were taken away, I was still able to find avenues of working with them. So
Mm-hmm.
that just grew more and more over like the year that we were in the pandemic. And I kind of decided pretty much in Colombia that I did not, that was a pivotal time for everybody. That
Yes.
I just didn't want to focus my business or my energy on events any longer. I just realized through traveling that the event planning industry was kind of maybe holding me back a little bit
Mm.
from doing other things and touching more people. And I think the pandemic actually taught me that I can do things virtually and work with people and coach and consult and do all these other things that I wasn't really tapping into before. So
Mm-hmm.
Silent K branding is only actually about a year old. And I only transitioned out of taking clients in Charisma Event Agency at the end of last year. So it's been about 3-4 months. That's really it that I've been like full time in this.
Yeah.
But I've been very, very, very fortunate that word of mouth and my branding on and what I've created has really stood for itself, and it's really been an easy transition into this clientele. And I plan to, with Charisma Event Agency, put on my own events. You know, kind of like I'm working on this Juneteenth event that has me completely consumed.
Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit later because I am definitely like excited about that and wishing that I was in Florida because when I tell you sis would be there. Okay. But before we get into that, one of the things that you mentioned is like your company is still kind of new, right? So you're going through this branding process, if you will, or have just went through this branding process yourself. Can you kind of give us some insight into how you take one situation and then kind of I couldn't come up with a better word, so situation is the one.
I love it.
But how do you shift right from one branch where you're thinking about event planning and like this is your jam, this is what you do, to now saying I think I want to niche over here to the social media space and apply that to yourself. Like what did that look like?
Wow, it was a lot. And like one thing about how I started my event planning business is I I mean, I still feel like I'm a newbie and I'm still figuring so much out, but I was so green. There were so many things that I knew that I wanted to do differently with this business. And starting it the way that I did, it gave me kind of like the roadmap to really do things the right way this time. So when I made this shift, I really focused on my systems and my processes. That was
Mm.
like my main thing. And I did have to take a couple steps back, which again, like I know I keep harping on the pandemic, but I just feel like everything happens for a reason. And so
No, it's
many
okay.
people,
Yeah.
so many people went through so many traumatic things through the pandemic. And I have to be grateful for like the L's that turned into W's in that situation.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
So I took a lot of grants. I took a lot of grants, and because oh my gosh, everybody was giving out money. I don't know if y'all knew this, but everybody was giving out money during the pandemic. So I took a lot of grants and I sat back and I restructured how I wanted my business to operate. And that, like, dissecting that allowed me to figure out how I wanted just to move forward, like with the packages I wanted to offer, how I wanted to bring new clientele in, and just figuring out what did I not like about the flexibility of my previous company that I wanted to change about this new one. And then when it comes to like shifting the branding, it's actually funny. It was really hard for me, and it still is hard for me to showcase myself as much as I have been lately. Whew, I know I do this for other people, but I've always liked to be the person behind the scenes, not necessarily the person in front of the camera. So having to do what I was telling other people to do for myself was hard. But I found that the more that I incorporated people into my story and into my journey, and the more authentic I was, the more people like really bought into what I was doing. Like I was telling people, like, when I launched Silent K branding, I kind of announced that. I announced about my travels more, which in my past business, I was actually really scared to tell people I was traveling because I was afraid that they were going to think I wasn't working or wasn't available or wasn't take on clients. So I got a little bit more intentional about sharing that and sharing what it is to be a digital nomad. I remember I think it was a reel, or it might have just been a video. I'm not sure if reels were out yet. That was like, what is a digital nomad? Because I learned the term. So then I shared that with other people and kind of introduced them into that. And then I told people about my last event and closing out my clients and making the transition. And when I was officially, cut off from my other business, and, what those different things look like. And I think that made it really easy to introduce people to this new brand that I created. So
I so appreciate you sharing that and kind of giving us the behind the scenes on that, because I often find myself, I do a lot, girl. I be doing the most, right? And as I'm trying to shift over into my new brand of Minding My Black Ass Business, I always am like, what do I share? What don't I share? Like, do I just pop up like, surprise, brand new? Like, or do I let people in like, y'all, I'm working on this, that, whatever else right now. So I appreciate you sharing that transparency part of it, of telling people like, my passions have shifted and now I'm going to be doing this, and come along on this journey with me. Like, it feels like you, and having followed this journey myself, having followed you as you were doing this, it felt like you invited us into this space, and it was like, come along with me as I try to figure out what I'm gonna be when I grow up, type of thing, and I think so many times in our businesses, when we are trying to pivot or we're trying to shift, it can be a really scary time, because like, are people going to come with me, or are they going to feel like I'm all over the place?
Yeah, like I definitely struggle with that because I'm multi-passionate. And one thing
Same.
is that like people don't realize is I was young when I started my business. So to think that I was always going to do the same thing the same way is like, really, that's not realistic. I started I started Charisma when I was 23. So it's like, come up, yeah, you're gonna have to come along with me on this growth, because what I wanted at 23 is not what I want at 30, 31. I want there's a certain lifestyle that I'm trying to build with my company in tow. And I do feel like when I was 23, when I started Charisma, I was listening to people try to tell me what entrepreneurship was, and like how it should look, and like this whole grind culture, grind all day, you gotta work until your fingers fall off. I'm like, I did it, that was cute. That's not
over it.
Right. I'm good. So the branding agency allows me to move and maneuver how I want to. And it's this business and the way that I'm building it is way more conducive to the lifestyle that I want to live. Like I want to be able, and I do still do events, and it's either my own ideas or my VIP clients. So if I'm controlling your entire brand, then yes, we can create a system that, or not a system, but a trajectory that includes events. a strategy. That's what I'm thinking. A strategy that
Okay.
includes events into your branding. So yes, I would do it for you, but I have to have one, full control, and two, it has to make sense to me. Like people doing one-off events or not really having the brand to sustain a successful event just wasn't what I wanted to take on anymore.
Yeah. So even in that, girl, something we talk about all the time here are boundaries, right? And having those business boundaries set up and just boundaries in life, period. But also having boundaries, like you said, I'm only accepting this type of client. I'm only doing these types of events. I'm only, going to show up in this particular way. Can you talk to us about that process of thinking about this is how Knakeesha is going to work? Period. Like this is what this is going to look like for me. Like how did you even come up with what you wanted that to look like?
I'm just gonna be 100% honest. I still
Please
struggle
do.
with this so much because I'm just like I see a vision and I want to work with my clients to do anything and everything possible to make it happen. And I have to realize I'm human and know my limitations and give and set boundaries. So it's hard. But I will say this, and I know this sounds wild, but going to another continent will set the boundaries for you. Like that will definitely put it in place. Like, oh, I want to meet a million times. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, I'm in Europe, so you can schedule a call because if you try to call me, it might be 3 a.m. here, so
Right.
I'm probably gonna fly. So I do think that travel forced me to set boundaries that I didn't even know I wasn't setting beforehand. It's like it's almost impossible for you to have that access to me when I'm not right there in front of your face. And I realized that things still happen. Things still got done. The world didn't end. Clients were still happy. Like I did have people that did not want to work with me because I was traveling, and that was okay. But the people who stuck with me, I don't think anybody was like, I did not want to work with her because of travel. It's like I felt like I said I was just different. Like my access was different. But it's definitely something I have had to learn for my sanity. And again, I think back about the life that I want. And it's like, I don't want to be tied to or defined by my career or my business. I'm a multifaceted person, so I want to have the opportunities to do other things.
Yeah. I feel that. Like I feel that deep in my spirit. And it was something else that you said too that I felt and I want to go back to. And you kind of just said it in passing, but you said there is this lingering the word I'm going to use is fear. It might not be the most appropriate. So just correct me. But this fear of putting yourself forward as the face of what you're doing as opposed to hiding in the background, right? So planning is a lot of, yeah, let me get all this together, over here. Y'all go forth and be great, right? But you taking this leap to actually put yourself forth as the face behind the brand. Talk to us about the fears that you have encountered with that, and then how do you get over that?
That's a big one. I don't think people know how scared I get, like putting out my reels or posting pictures. I'm not even a photo person. I've become a content creating person because of this industry. But the people who really know me, like my sister's my best friend, right? She knows I'm like a picture and done person. So I'm like, please click fast because I'm standing in this position for a good 20 seconds.
No way. I would have never get y'all are gonna y'all need to go over to Knakeesha's Instagram page. Don't do it now because we're here. But when you look at this content, y'all see she's gorgeous already, right? But the content is so inviting and so beautiful. And so in my mind, I just imagine like you just snapping it up in the streets all the time.
No, I wouldn't. Well, let me not say that. I do take a lot of content, but I'm just quick with it, and I just mostly because I want it to be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I am frustrated or if I'm doing something for too long and it's not coming out the way I want it to, or, I'm trying to get that perfect shot, it's not going to be authentic. Like, I am the queen of the awkward smile. So, if I try to do all this, it's like, no, it's not going to come out. Even with reels, I'm like a 3 take and done type of person. Like, if I've done the voiceover 3 times and it's not doing what it needs to do, then it's not
they give it what it need to give.
It's not the one for me. So yeah, but man, there is a lot of fear centered and surrounded about it. But I think that the one thing that has made it easier for me is just truly finding what I can be authentic about. Like, what is, like, even if you do look at my last reel, I'm cracking up laughing at the end of it. Like, because it's relatable. It's really what's happening in my life. And I'm not putting on or faking anything. So it makes it, I don't know. I know that sounds weird because that's a vulnerability, right? But it makes it easier for me to get over my fear because I'm being me. I'm being truly who I am. And so it's kind of like a like it or leave it type of situation. It's like, I think I would honestly be more fearful and more anxious if I was trying to be somebody I'm not. Then it's like, oh, who's going to see beyond this? Who's going to be able to poke holes and
and be like, y'all know she don't be doing this in real life, y'all. She out here perpetrating.
No, it's me.
Yeah. So this word authenticity has come up several times as you've been speaking, just in conversation. And I would like for you to talk to us about authenticity and how that shows up in branding, right? Because like a moment ago, you were just like, it would be really terrifying if I was trying to be somebody that I'm not. So how do we capture this authenticity and then put that into our brand in a way that people can see, like this is what my heart's passion is?
Okay. So what I usually do, like, with clients is, and I feel like my beginning consultations are kind of like a therapy session with my clients, but yeah, because we get in there, because I try to like ask them, like, what's their like secret sauce? Like, what are the things that people love you for? What do what are you passionate about? What is your why? What is your story? How did you get here? Like, those questions, because people don't realize that those little tidbits can directly tie into whatever it is you're selling, promoting, putting out in the world, usually very easily. Like, people usually know me for coffee, right? So I love coffee. So love coffee. And I love coffee shops, mostly because when it was getting started, I couldn't afford an office space. So 2 things. I was working at a coffee shop. And when I got started in Orlando networking, I used to, somebody said, you're better than a
therapist. Yeah.
But when I started networking in Orlando, I used to put aside money to take people out for coffee. And if I met somebody or somebody introduced me to somebody, the first thing I would do is say, hey, let's grab coffee, because it's what I could afford. I couldn't afford to take you to fancy drinks or dinner or anything like that. But hey, I can take you to coffee. And I found this awesome coffee shop in my town that basically was like, name your own coffee. And I mean, I wouldn't try to lowball them, but I'm like, okay, you're going to get these $3 because this is what I got. And I used to take clients, potential clients, or even just people that I admired that I wanted to network with. I used to just take them out to coffee and be like, well, what can I do to help you? Yeah. And those things have become my brand. 1, people know me for coffee. 2, they know me for my coffee dates. 3, people ask me avidly, where can I take clients out for coffee around town? All the best coffee shops in town. Where can you go? And it's just become something that I have included, like, as an overarching theme in my branding all the time. Like, very even when I go to other countries now, I post, what coffee shops I'm working out of.
Right.
I bring home coffee or things like that. And that's a very basic baseline, me taking my personality and who I am and bringing it to the forefront to help me clients and stuff. Because now people are like, well, can I just take you to coffee? Now people take me to coffee. I'm like,
right. Okay. Increase worries. So
Absolutely
look,
can.
I wanna ask those of you who are watching. So Knakeesha said this question. So I want to ask you all, what is your secret sauce, right? Or what is the thing that you are known for that you can integrate into your branding? As Knakeesha is telling us about coffee, like what is the thing for you that people know you for, or that you can integrate in your branding? So I'm gonna leave that up, and I want y'all to answer that in the comments for me. So you out here on this coffee thing, right? And then something else you said a little bit ago. So as you said, like bringing your authentic self into this. But a little bit ago, you said systems, systems,
Yeah.
and strategy. I am going to be very candid and transparent in saying I ain't got one, Knakeesha. I be out here winging it, girl, winging it. You hear me? Like the other day, I literally, I was transitioning. I was moving out of my apartment, and I just felt real creative that day. So I was like, I'm gonna take the people in my stories along with me in my day, you know. So like I went to the dentist and I was walking through the park, and yesterday there were like this crazy squirrel was in the park, you know. So I was like, these squirrels made different, right? So, but I honestly don't really have a strategy about or any systems about how to show up in these spaces, how to schedule all this content, how to create all this content. Like it be a lot, girl. So having said that, and I see some of y'all in the comments with which they just throwing their hands up, like I don't know. Help us when it comes to thinking about strategy, systems, what that looks like, and how we can leverage social media in order to introduce people to our brand.
Okay. That's a loaded
That's
one.
a big one too. I know, I
Yes.
know. I
Yeah.
got the big ones over here, you know.
Okay. I'm gonna try to break this down into 3 sections.
Okay, all right.
Keep me together.
Okay, I
One
got
is
you.
gonna be branding. One is gonna
Okay,
be social media, and the
okay,
other one is gonna be like just your business and intake, which is like what I like to call internal branding. Right.
okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm making you big. I got you, girl. I got you.
Okay, good, because my laptop's over there. Okay.
I got you.
So first with branding, the first thing that I have people do and create when they're like sitting down with me or trying to get their brand together is a mood board. Like I feel like that is baseline step number one. I think people think it's a little trivial, but honestly it's the best standard to have for your brand. So you
And
can
is
go
this
on.
like on Pinterest? I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off. You
Yes.
just
So
gotta
no,
say
you
that.
no, you're good. You're good because you read my mind.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
So the 2 places I find mood boards is Pinterest. So you there, Pinterest is my like lifeline, and Canva, my second lifeline. I love me some
Facts.
Canva.
Me too.
Saved me so much money over the years. So yeah, so basically what you want to do is create like a kind of like a vision board for your brand. You want your colors on there, your photography aesthetic to be on there, your logo, your fonts, anything that is a standard for your brand. You want it to be on a mood board. And just to put it in
Okay.
perspective, like I said, I like to take what corporations are doing and bring it to like small and medium sized businesses to show them like you need to be, if you want to make the type of money that they're making, you need to be doing the type of things that you're doing. Right now, you can't really tell, but I'm actually in a Keller Williams office because this is like one of my clients. I work out of their office. Keller Williams has a 50-page brand. Well, it's a brand kit, but they have
Wow.
50 pages worth of details on how you better not cross them when it comes to their branding. So if you are starting your brand, you should at least have a 1-sheeter page presentation size canvas that shows what your brand standards are. And then whenever I create or do anything that has to go into my brand, I look back at that mood board to say, is this really conveying what I put on this paper when I started out? And I share it with anybody who's like a part of my projects that I have going on. If it's somebody building my website, if it's, they're doing a graphic for me, whatever they're doing that embodies my brand, they need to see that mood board too, so they can understand the direction and the feeling that I'm trying to evoke.
Okay.
Okay.
I
So
like this.
branding, social media. And these are baseline things to get you started, right?
Okay.
So
Wait, can I ask a question about branding before you move on to social
of
media?
course.
Okay. So when you said like two of the favorite things that you use, Pinterest and Canva. So I know in Canva, in the Pro Canva, you can make like a brand kit, right? Like you can
Mm,
choose the
yeah.
particular fonts, you can choose your colors, and they'll just kind of already be in there for you. So whenever you choose something or you make something, is that what you do?
Yes, absolutely. And every time I work with a company that has like a team, they have multiple employees. I tell them, let's make a team Canva account where all of your branding is already in there so that they already know, and they have everything set for the colors, the fonts, everything
Mm-hmm.
like already there. Yeah.
And so I'm assuming, I'm sorry that I'm getting so in the weeds on this, but trying to help the people, child, because we be out here struggling, okay, with a C. So when you like, for instance, choose your fonts,
Mhm.
um, I'm a font person. Like fonts speak to me. Like I like certain fonts, right? So I'm assuming that you choose like a primary font, secondary, tertiary fonts. Like how many things should people have like in this kit that they create that would be a good launching pad?
Okay, so a good standard is a heading font, a body, and something I call it the razzle dazzle font, but I just said that to a client and she was like cracking up. But yeah,
We here
my
for the
razzle
razzle
dazzle.
dazzle, girl. We here for the razzling and the dazzling. Okay.
But something that's a little cool, like, a little funky that you can add for accents, or, maybe that's what the
Mm.
stiffs call it, is the accent font. But, yeah, but just that little thing that kind of gives it like a little, when you're trying to do something a little bit more creative. Because I know sometimes people's brands can be very simplistic, which is great, but maybe that's like a slanted font or, a variation on, some of your other fonts that you have included. But that's like the three. I tell
Hmm.
people never to have more than 5 brand fonts. I don't see why you
Okay.
would need to. And I have a standard for only ever having no more than 3 fonts on any piece of anything that goes out. Like if
Okay.
it's a graphic or, marketing or whatever. I would really say 1 to 2, but 3 is like the max.
That's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
really
So,
it.
two quick questions
Mhm.
coming from the audience. So, Aisha said, is that available on the free Canva?
I don't think the brand kit is available
Yeah,
yet.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, to
But
actually
there may
program
be a
it.
workaround, Aisha, like if you make like a document maybe and then just put your fonts in there. Like I feel like there's a workaround, but the actual paid version does have the brand kit like it's a thing. Then Aisha had one more question about this vision board that's being created, whether that be on Pinterest, Canva, what have you. Is that for us personally or is that to show others?
I show it to other like service providers so that they can understand and know the vision of my brand when they're working with me. And so I always have hex codes, which is like the color that's
Mm-hmm.
associated to, or I'm sorry, the code that's associated to the colors that you choose for your brand. And then that way, it's like if they're doing something for me, they know which pink to use, they know which red.
Exactly.
Like it's
Yeah.
name. I don't know if I posted the Silent K branding mood board. I think what I did in the beginning was I did like a poll, like on my social media, where I was like,
Mhm.
let me choose my mood boards, which is great content. That's a great way to pull people
Mm.
into your story. If maybe you're
Yeah.
in the process of creating these things, you like have 2 or 3 options, and just say, hey, which ones do you guys
Have
like?
people vote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Ooh.
great quick little piece of content.
Yes. Okay, so you're segueing us over into social media. All right. So
Yes.
talk the things. We listening, girl.
Again, this is like social media is a huge
I,
thing. That's a huge animal to tackle. But if I would say one thing, like one system that you should have in place, always when you're trying to get yourself organized with social media, is a scheduling tool. Because the people who are strategic in social media are usually not scheduling in the moment for the moment. At least not
right.
100% of the time. They usually have
Yeah.
it scheduled in advance. I like to schedule around a week to 2 weeks in advance. That's like kind of my sweet spot. And I like to have a benchmark. So for me, I like to have 3 to 5 posts scheduled. That way, it alleviates the pressure of me like feeling like I need to like to be consistent, you know? So I know at least 3 to 5 posts are going out, you know, what, because I've scheduled them and I've already put them in place. Then if like something trending comes along or something happens that's like pop culture or like maybe a real audio that's kind of cool that I want to do in the moment, I can add it into the mix of what I already created, but I have consistent content going out. So I personally use later.com, and I know that they have a free version, but it's very limited, I will say. One account on there costs $15 a month.
Okay. And it's later. I'm looking at it now. All right. I wish you were getting paid for this, but but later.com. Okay. Because that's one of the questions we have here with scheduling tool. So I have a question too, along with that. So how often should one be posting, right? So you said 3 to 5. So is that like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Like how often should we be posting?
So that's again a loaded question because it's different per industry and like depending on what you're trying to do or what your outcome is. I think a safe space is 3 to 5, and here's why. So what the algorithm likes more is consistency more than anything, you know. So and people are like, oh, I'm going to post every single day. I'm going to post 2 or 3 times a day. Can you be consistent with that? Let's focus on that before we try to do like 20 posts and do all these different things. Worry more about your consistency and if you can create good and meaningful and impactful and converting content that frequently, or if you would rather do 3 to 5 times a week and deliver impactful information or things that actually make sense like towards your brand. Now, if you can do 3 times a day, by all means do it. The only other time I would say that is if you're going to do like, I have seen people do like the 3 times a day for like 90 days to really like shoot for the stars and like jumpstart their followers and, you know, try to go viral, that type of situation. Yes, but it is, you know, that's a lot. I'm more so working with the people who are realistic. You know, I'm working with the busy CEOs. I can't see them doing that. You
know? Yeah. Hell, I can't do it, girl. And I'm not a busy CEO, but Lord Jesus knows. It's just it feels like a lot, right? Which leads me to my next question is about that content, like you mentioned reels, for instance. And Aisha, you are reading my mind tonight, girl. So she was like, what's most effective? Like stories, straight posts, reels, lives, like how do we bust this algorithm to be able to make sure that we're making content that people are going to pay attention to?
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. One, I'm going to tell you straight up right now.
Okay.
TikTok ain't my ministry. Okay. TikTok is not, you know, there are people out there that like have really mastered it and praise to them. I would. And I'm kind of like an old person in this way. I'm kind of like I've learned what I know, and I'm gonna keep adapting to my Instagram and my Facebook. TikTok, if I would have got on the wave maybe when it began, I would have been more active on it, but that's not for me. But here's the thing: each one of those different platforms, and if you could keep that up on the screen, just a little
I will
touch each one, is a little different for conversion and like what your actual goals are for social media. I would say off the top of my head, Reels right now are still getting the most traction on Instagram, but it's been a lot. Like you have to kind of fight for attention with Reels right now. What happened is everybody, because Reels were getting so much traction, everybody started to sell a course on how to be successful in Reels. So the tactics that they're teaching are plummeting in results. But I would still say Reels is going to kind of be like your thing, right? Stories is it's going to be really big on consistency and keeping the cycle current always.
So because it times out after 24 hours.
Yes, but if you can be, this is what I would recommend for stories, is to always post at a certain time every day. So if you're gonna do stories, be like real consistent in the morning, and then make sure that that's your time. Not to say you can't do anything else throughout the day, but just make sure that you're posting every time in the morning. That way, that you're always having a
It'll always be
constant,
refreshed.
constant refreshing of your stories, and you always have something for people to watch. Stories is good for like biteable content, like short content, getting polls, getting feedback, quick engagement and interaction is great for polls, and it's also good to reboost anything that you posted in your timeline.
Okay.
Right. So if you get like your engagement on your stories actually raises your engagement on your post, your static post.
Okay.
So what I like to do is like if I have something and I'm not sure how the engagement is going to turn out, I'll do like a poll on my stories to see if I can raise it, and then I'll direct people to my stories to engage with me.
Oh, okay.
Right? Straight posts is, I mean that could be really anything, just depending on how you chop it up. But anything that you want people to go back to, you know, if you want them to be back to reference, take notes, save, share on their own, then you want to do that on a straight post. Reels, I mean, reels can be skinned any type of way, but I'd say it's really good for quick information and your content relatable and entertaining. Really easy to take some of these audios, some of these voiceovers, and make it tailored to your industry. Has been made really, really easy with reels. Lives, I suck at lives. I need to go live more. I really do, but it's just the scheduling of it. But lives is good for that engagement piece. Like if you're looking for followers, go live with other people. Find people, create an IG live show just like this one. Like, hey, I want to and I focus a lot on Instagram, but Instagram or Facebook. But like every other Friday, I'm gonna go live, and I'm gonna choose somebody to go live with me. That's a great way to boost your following,
because both of y'all get to benefit from the other person's network.
Yes, exactly. And then that consistency will have some like people coming back to your page on a recurring basis.
Right.
Good. But yeah, it's just different. And if you're gonna take the time to be strategic on social media, figure out your why. A lot of people are like, oh well, I want likes or I want followers. But once you get the likes and the followers, then
what? Yeah.
You know, do you want them to buy from you? Do you want them to book you? Are you trying to get brand endorsements so that you can have other brands pay you, you know, for the visibility that you get from X, Y, and Z? That's going to really dictate how and what you should put out on social media.
So now I feel like you're kind of shifting us again over into that third category where you said internal branding.
Yes.
What does that even mean when we say internal branding, and how do we accomplish that?
Yeah, so internal branding is that like what I was just saying, like where do you want to direct people after they have engaged with your content? You know, have somewhere for them to go, have a call to action, and have it set up in a clean and easy way for them to like navigate. So for me, like this, I would say the simplest, most base level thing would be a Calendly account. So Calendly is basically like a virtual calendar link where you can have people set up like consultations or time based off your calendar. So that's a great way to be like, oh, book a consultation. Because it could be about anything. book a 15-minute call with me. Actually, when I decided to, you know, redo this business at the beginning of the year, when I was like in sales mode, trying to get clients, trying to bring people on, I just was like, book a call. Everything was directing people to book a discovery call with me because I wanted, it was a numbers game at that point. I'm like, how many people can I get on a 15-minute free call with me that I can convert into a paying client? And I was gathering information as to what clients I felt like were a good match and which were not. So figure out what that next step is. But Calendly is good because you can get them to like fill out a couple questions. But there's more intricate programs like Honeybook, Dubsado. Those are the ones I use. I can't think of any others off the top of my brain.
but some kind of way for people to, again, for you to be able to convert, right? Because it's nice that people are showing this content, but as Aisha said down here, she's like, I want sales, I want traction, I want people to see that this is more than, oh, this is nice, like I actually want you to purchase or to book or what have you. So
Yeah.
being very clear in that.
Yes, and then that call, like the call to action, like all those different mediums that you mentioned, all those different ways of communicating on social media. At the end of the day, you need a call to action on every one of them. If it's a reel, it needs a call to action. If it's a post, if it's a story, whatever it is, direct them to where you want them to go.
Got you. That is a really good tip. Where are we going from here? So one of the things that you mentioned that I said I wanted to come back to is your event that you have coming up. So Knakeesha is out of Orlando. And I want you to tell us about your big Juneteenth event that you have coming up. What is it about? But also a little bit of how you came up with this idea to do this particular event.
Yes. So this event is really my baby. I love it so much. And it's been a passion project of mine. Like, this is the third year that we're going to be hosting this event. And I'm so excited. But basically, in the pandemic, I came up with the idea of having a scavenger hunt for all the Black-owned businesses in Orlando, all the brick and mortar businesses on Juneteenth. And we called it Black Friday Orlando because that year Juneteenth was on a Friday. And when I tell y'all, like this stemmed from a couple of things. One, think about an event planner in a pandemic, sitting on the couch with nothing to do. That was one. And two, like we had a lot going on in the country at the time. Like that was the time of like the George Floyd cases and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. And for me, like I wanted to come up with an event that was kind of like my form of activism. I'm like, everybody was jumping on the Juneteenth train at the time. I'm like, you know what? I want something like for us, by us that really puts, money in the pockets of these businesses. Yeah. So I was year one expecting like maybe a couple hundred people. I was like, I'd be really happy if I hit 200 people. Well, it kind of like caught on, and we had 1,500 people participate year one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was really crazy and way more than I was expecting, or, that was just way beyond what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
And, it was supposed to be a social distancing friendly way for people to enjoy Juneteenth. But it was a huge success, and I got a lot of like media coverage and stuff off of it. And year two, I said I was not going to do it again. I was like, there's no way. It's like, that was a lot of work. It was fun.
Right.
Because I put that first one together in like 3 weeks. So
what?
Yeah, no, like I said, I just was not expecting that. I was like, oh, I think I said 20 businesses and 200 people. So we ended up with like 60 something businesses and 1,500 people.
Girl, that is awesome.
It was crazy, but I really enjoyed it. And was I traveling? Yes, I was traveling at the time, at the beginning of last year. And so I just was like, oh no, you guys, I'm not going to do it. But people really encouraged me to do it again. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this event again if I can't expand it. Like if it's not going to grow, if something's, new is not going to happen, I'm not going to do it again. So me opening my big old mouth, I said, there's this, I have to remember that everybody's not from Orlando. So there's this Church Street, that's actually very historic in Orlando, because there's a cross street, Division Street, which was known to be the division between like the Black and white communities in Orlando. And Church Street runs right in front of the Amway Center, which is where the Orlando Magic play. So I was like, you know what? If I get this street closure, if I can get this permit approved to shut down the street, I'll have a huge block party and I can end the scavenger hunt and I'll do the event. Submitted the application, I think like in a day or two. They called me from the city and they were like, we love this idea. We want to help you push this through. And I was like, but it's like in a month, right? And they were like, yeah, we're going to help you do it. And so I got the permit literally like I think it was about a couple days, like from now, like maybe May 20th or something of last year. Put on the event. It turned out amazing. Like, it turned out really, really well. So this year I just didn't hide from it. I started in January. I started really well. Actually, I put in the permits in November, and started kind of pulling things together. And so we're having it again. And this year we've expanded it to an entire weekend. So Friday we're doing a happy hour kickoff. Scavenger hunt will be running Friday through Saturday. Saturday we're doing a block party, and Sunday we're doing a brunch. So Juneteenth 407 weekend is in full swing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nuts, but it's good. We have the Orlando Magic just signed on today again to do a larger and nicer sponsorship. So I'm excited about that. We have Chase Banks, that's going to be sponsoring downtown Orlando. That's going to be sponsoring. So it'll be great. I'm excited. Yeah, it's taking up all the time.
Yes, but that is so phenomenal. So I told you we have a lot of beautiful brown girls that are in the Orlando, Central Florida area, Tampa, Daytona area. Do you have flyers? People are trying to amplify. So do you have flyers? Is it family friendly? Yeah, tell the people how they can tell the people about the event.
Yes, I can add. So actually, you can go to the website, Juneteenth407.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Juneteenth407 Weekend on Instagram. And okay, what other questions? Okay, flyer. I can drop a flyer in the comments after this. Family friendly. So the family friendly portion of the event is going to be the block party on Saturday. So if you're familiar with the Orlando area, Heritage Square or the History Center right downtown, we're going to have that whole space open, vendors. We're going to have bounce houses, face painters, DJs, all of the out there for the kids. So yes, and kids can participate in the scavenger hunt. Actually, most of the teams that were set up in the past years had children involved, which was fun because they got to go around to the businesses, and we have historic stops along the way on the scavenger hunt too. Vending available. Yes, there are vendors available on Saturday and Sunday. We just included an art walk on our brunch. So we're going to be looking for artists to come out and feature their work at the Hall in the Yard, which is a Black-owned food hall that's amazing. It's so beautiful. Yes. If you're not familiar with the space, it's great. But yeah, I can drop all that in there. But it is all on the website, Juneteenth407.com.
Perfect. So y'all, if you're looking for that is the website there. I put it into the comments, so you'll be able to click right on it and get that information. So for people that are interested, are there still spots available for vendors and stuff like that, Knakeesha?
Yeah, we only have about 2 spots left for our food trucks, but we do have vendor spots still available, yes. I think I lost you for a second.
No, I'm back. Food trucks. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. I'm back. There was some kind of glitch or something that happened. But yes, so as we are wrapping up, girl, this time has flown by so fast. Oh my God. Yeah. So as we're wrapping up, I know that you wanted to let our community know about some opportunities that you have specifically for people who were here tonight. So can you tell us about those? And then I'm going to have you tell the people where they can find you, because they clearly got a whole lot of questions. Okay. So we need to tell them where you at, okay? But first, start off about telling us about the opportunity that you have. I think it's the Amplified Branding Session.
Yes. So I have a Amplified Branding Session, which is all about taking your personal branding and boosting it or using it to boost your business. And right now I'm going to be giving $20 off, or I'm sorry, no, not $20, 20% off of that booking right now. And if you go to my link tree on my Instagram, you can apply to go ahead and have that session, because I just want to make sure your personal branding is, in the place to receive these gifts that I will bestow. So yeah, if you apply, you can use the code. It was BB Girl 2022, correct?
Let me make sure. Okay. I was trying to type BB Girls 2022. Yes.
Okay.
So let me drop that into the comments for everyone. And let me get your link tree up here so that folks can find that.
Yeah.
Give
And
me
I'll leave
just a
that code available for the next 30 days. So if you book now between today, what's today, the 18th? I always do things based on twos because I'm a lucky number two. So I'll put it from the 20th to June 20th. And if you book between now and then you can get 20% off by just putting in that code. And then actually I realized that we should probably just said it at the beginning, so I'll leave this up for like the next few days. But my ebook that's also available in my link tree, the 22 ways to amplify your brand in 2022. I dropped that to $2. So usually that's $22, but I took $20 off, and I'll run that till the 20th as well because I like twos. So
come on, honey. 22 for these 22 founders, girl. Yes, here for it. All right, y'all. So I'm putting the code into the comments. Again, the code is BB Girls 2022. Knakeesha's link tree is there. I'll drop that into the comments as well so that you can click directly on that. Yo, we got ebooks for $2. Okay, amplify branding session, honey, to get your brand with. I'm gonna have one. I don't know about y'all, but Kimberlyn, is going to be booking one because I need all the help I can get, girls. So definitely want to make sure that you all take advantage of this. So I'm going to leave the link tree at the bottom in case you're trying to capture that. And then Knakeesha, where can people find you, ma'am? Like they got all these questions, child. They need assistance, and I'm saying we need assistance and support, child. Where can people find you after this?
yeah, so I'm available on Instagram, silentk_branding, just like on my like display name. Definitely can follow me on Instagram. Can reach out there as well. You can friend me on Facebook too. I'm always on Facebook as well. So Knakeesha Samuels on Facebook. I know my name is a little bit of a doozy, but I'm there.
So the people want to know for the ebook, do they use the same code for the ebook, or is it just do they just click on it and it's been updated?
Yeah, I already updated it. Let me know if you have any issues, but it should be showing $2 right now.
Perfecto. All right, Erica. So you can just use that. And again, you go to the link tree in order to access that information. Okay, so I'm looking at the link tree here. I also see that Knakeesha has a Canva Pro free for 30 days.
Oh yeah.
So a couple folks were asking about Canva and being able to use Canva. So she has a link where you're able to utilize that as well. So y'all got to get on this link tree, okay? Because this all because she got an Amazon store on here, child. Just is and she hiring y'all. So if y'all know somebody that is looking for an internship, child, listen.
Yes, I am hiring for a paid intern position, but I do want them to be in Orlando, Florida. So yes, if you know somebody, please pass that along because I think my girl Bree was on here earlier. I saw her name flash across because our beautiful brown girls need interview and resume help. She does. Bree does. Bree Watts. I hope I'm saying this right. She does interview and resume consulting. And if I could say one thing about our beautiful brown girls that I have been interviewing for this position, they need both. So if you know someone who is, looking for internships, send them my way. But they gotta get their stuff together.
Yeah, but also I was gonna say, tell Bree, if you're on, or I'm telling you to tell her, we may need to have her on the show, right?
Oh,
because
absolutely.
in our community, we have a lot of folks that are wanting to pivot and transition. Especially, you talked about the pandemic a lot. A lot of people are really thinking about entering into other branches of work and pursuing some other passions. So we could always have her on the show, and then we get the opportunity to meet her as well. So definitely.
Oh yeah, I'll send you her information. She'd be great.
Okay, send that on over. All right. So y'all, as we get ready to close, what I want to know is, what is one thing that you are taking away from our time tonight? Knakeesha has dropped all sorts of nuggets, honey. I can't wait to go back and watch this replay because this like I said, I'm gonna be booking my Amplify branding session, okay? Because sis needs help, okay? But what is one thing that you all are taking away tonight that you want to I'm sorry, let me put that back up. That you want to take with you as you are preparing to take on this branding journey. I can say for me, the one thing that I took, Latricia, you got it. This vision board and branding kit, sis.
Yeah.
I'm about to make me a vision board and branding kit right now. Okay. Tianda said doing a mood board. Candace said knowing your why. Okay. So y'all, we bring y'all content like this all the time, right? We always want to make sure that we have amazing brown girls that are out here bossing it up. And we really want to make sure that you all are connected. I know a few of you, this is your first time interacting with us here on Beautiful Brown Girls on time on Brown Girl Boss. So I want you to make sure that you go to our Facebook page, Beautiful Brown Girls, and there we have a Facebook group called Beautifully Shaded. We're also on Instagram at Beautifully Shaded and on Twitter at Beautiful Brown You. We also have the opportunity for you to be able to join our VIP members network. And this is a place where you can connect with other beautiful brown girls across the country and have more conversations like this and continue to be able to sharpen each other, right? Because iron sharpens iron, and that's what we're here for. So if you want to do that, you can also go to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com and you'll be able to get that information there. A reminder, we also have in-person brunch chapters. So there's a chapter there in Orlando. There's one in Tampa. I believe, are up to, we just had a call the other day. I think it is 30 something chapters, if I'm not mistaken. But they continue to be open. We just had one in Knoxville. We have a new one in New Orleans that just opened up, right? So if you go to the website, look and see where there are other chapters where you can really get connected to other beautiful brown girls and other folks like Knakeesha who have all of this information to share for us. Okay. Knakeesha, if there's one thing that you could leave the people, child, they didn't hear nothing else you said. They just logged on late. Okay. They out here trying to just figure out what we doing. What is the one thing that you would say to people as we close?
Oh my gosh, that's hard, man. Well, you know what? I think I have this overall thing, be authentic. Like, you will be so shocked and surprised how many people will gravitate towards you when you're being your true self. Like, be yourself.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Plain and simple, right? So, Knakeesha, thank you. Thank you so much. My soror, ooh, to you. I just so appreciate everything that you poured out. I am just so grateful for you accepting this opportunity. All of y'all that's watching need to run over, okay, to the sites. Make sure, let me put that link tree up here one more time because I need to make sure that y'all get connected to Knakeesha. So again, if you go to Linktree /SilentK_branding, you will be able to connect with her and see all the amazing content. Remember, y'all, we got $2 ebooks out here. We have discounts on the Amplified Branding Session, again, using the code BB Girls 2022. We'll put that into the description so that you all don't have to look for it. Thank you, Knakeesha. The people are very, very grateful for everything that you have shared. I can't wait to go back and watch the replay, honey, because
I'm jumping in the comments right after this. So
okay. So definitely, y'all, the conversation doesn't stop here, right? It continues. We continue doing this. Continue to share the broadcast. Continue to let other people know about all of the great information that you got. Continue to direct people towards Knakeesha and all of her amazingness. We will be back next Wednesday. So for programming note, we do have another episode of Brownversations. Our next episode of Brownversations is coming up this upcoming Monday. I will not be there, y'all. I'll be moving. So I'm moving to a new country. So I'll be doing that. So Aisha will actually be on with Sab during that time. So definitely want to tune in for those shenanigans. And then we'll be back with our next episode of Brown Girl Boss 2 weeks from today. And that date is, I had it in my head, but I lost it. So that's going to be on June 1st, y'all. So our next episode of Brown Girl Boss will be on June 1st. We do this all the time, same place. Love you all to pieces. Okay. Keep commenting, y'all, because we both gonna be in the comments after this. Okay. So y'all keep commenting, keep the conversation going. Again, Knakeesha, thank you, girl. We will be in touch, honey. Okay. Because I gotta book this amplified branding session. I keep saying that, but honey, I need to go onto this link. Okay, so as we get over here and book that. So y'all smooches, all the things. Peace and love, and we will see y'all again on our next show.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Absolutely.